Hello, welcome to the road to Tokyo. I'm Tracey Holmes in the Japanese capital. Today we'll take you through the COVID-safe measures that every official and athlete must go through when they land here for the Olympic Games. We'll also visit the 90-year-old Australian who's returned to Tokyo after competing here at the 1964 Olympics. He wants to pay tribute to his three teammates in a very special way. But first, let's start with the excitement both here in the Athletes' Village and of course in southeast Queensland, with the news that Brisbane will host the Olympic and Paralympic Games in 2032.
That the Games of the 35th Olympiad are awarded to Brisbane, Australia.
There were fireworks and celebrations along the Brisbane River 6 years after planning began to bid for the right to host the Games. The IOC backed the bid, voting 72-5 in favour, although some seem to think it was a guaranteed win. Tokyo's organising committee sent out an embargoed press release congratulating Brisbane before the vote had taken place. Events will be staged at more than 30 venues across southeast Queensland, in Brisbane, the Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, Logan, Ipswich and Redlands.
We're a sports loving state, and this will give us, I believe, our golden age in Queensland. So we're very excited. We're over the moon.
Australia becomes only the second country in the world, behind the United States, to host an Olympic Games in 3 different cities. Right after the announcement yesterday, I spoke with the Federal Sports Minister, Richard Colbeck. It's not every day you get to celebrate the fact that you've won an Olympic Games for Australia, and you no doubt played a fairly significant role in that. What does it mean for you personally?
Oh, look, it's huge. I'm like a lot of Australians, I love my sport. I was never going to be an Olympian, but I've been in and around sport, community sport, all my life pretty much, and winning the Olympics for Australia has only ever happened 3 times, and the 3rd time was today, and it's just hugely exciting. I think it's a really, really big deal for Australia, for Australian sport, and for young people, young athletes, para-athletes, to aspire to the opportunity to compete on home soil. And we've talked about that in the context of some of the other global events that are coming this way, our way, Australia's way, over the next decade. But what a magnificent way to cap the decade off, the Olympics in Australia, in Queensland and Brisbane.
It's a cynical world and it's easy to be critical, but today was an example where we see both sides of politics have been working together, and the biggest show on earth is coming to Australia again, which is phenomenal that it's a 3rd time in a country as small as Australia when the whole world is there.
Yeah, look, it is, but I think each level of government has been committed to this for a while. I know the Prime Minister's been especially committed to it. The councils, the work that they did early has set the foundation for this over a period of time. They've brought that to the other 2 tiers of government, state and Commonwealth. The PM backed it with $10 million to support the bid process itself, and we're now working really closely with Queensland, particularly Sterling Hinchcliffe and myself, around the structures that will now support the game and the Games, and looking forward to moving on to that next stage of the process.
Well, Minister, you've got a Matilda's game to get to. I better let you go.
And I'm looking forward to a really good result. It was great to see the first event of the Olympics, Australia versus Japan in the softball. Disappointing result, perhaps good for Japan, but it's really good that the Games have started, and I think those that are back at home not being able to get out will really start lapping the Games up as they build up over the next couple of weeks.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Tracey.
Athletes across several sports have been ruled out of the Games because of testing positive to COVID-19. A Russian swimming star and a Dutch skateboarder are among those now unable to compete. But some athletes remain a chance of still taking part, despite returning positive tests after they complete 10 days of quarantine. There are now more than 80 cases within the Olympics. At 48 years of age, Shane Rose is a seasoned veteran. He's already got an equestrian silver and bronze medal. Can he get that elusive gold this time round? National Sport reporter David Mark spoke with him before he boarded his flight.
One of the really strange things about these Olympics is that we're not going to have any access to athletes at all, so you've got to make the most of every opportunities. And here just waiting for our plane to go at Tokyo is Shane Rose, who's an Australian Olympian in the 3-day event in equestrian. G'day, Shane.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Just tell me, this has been such a delayed Olympics for you. How do you feel right now that you're just about to jump on the plane?
Yeah, excited. Horses in great form. Can't wait to get over there and have a crack, really.
What's it actually been like this past, it's been 20 months or so waiting for this moment, and here we are about to jump on the plane in about an hour.
Yeah, I guess, we were prepared 12 months ago, so for it to happen is great. It's a bit of a setback in time, but we just carry on.
So here we are in a near deserted Sydney airport. We're all wearing our masks. We know we're going into a city which is having 1,000 or 2,000 COVID cases a day. Do you think about that, or do you just think about the job at hand?
We can't really change that. I'm sure the International Olympic Committee and the Japanese Olympic Committee have got everything prepared as best as they can to keep us safe. And if we look after ourselves, then that's all we can do, is prepare ourselves and our horses and try and stay as hygienic as we can. And what happens, happens. But hopefully, as athletes, we always put our trust in our management and teams to get things right so that we can compete.
Shane, you went to Beijing, you went to Rio, you've got a silver medal and a bronze medal. What are your goals this time around?
Oh, it'd be lovely to add the gold medal to the collection or two. So, we're aiming to perform as best as we can, and if that brings a nice gold shiny medal, that'll be just perfect. Thank you.
Well, best of luck to you, Shane. Shane Rose, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks for that.
And we'll never get this close again, so good luck.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Australian show jumper Jamie Kermond has been provisionally suspended from the team after testing positive to cocaine. Kermond was due to make his first Olympics appearance in Tokyo. He will now have his B sample analysed. It's quite a process getting into Tokyo to compete at the Olympic and Paralympic Games. Let me take you through what every athlete and official must go through before they clear the airport.
All right, just a few boxes, eh? What are you?
Equestrian.
Step in back to the horn exit.
I'm a coach.
Of triathlon?
Yeah, this young fella.
How's he going to go?
Oh, hopefully really well. Yeah, he's in good form.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here with Matt, our cameraman, and we're in the same boat. The other member of our team has kind of just breezed straight through because he could download some stuff at home that we couldn't do. So we're just going through all these different QR codes and filling out written pledges saying we'll abide by the very strict regulations and any number of other things that we've basically signed our life away. I think we're up to about 20. Thank you. Spit test. Now we have to sit here and wait for the results. And we're all in the same boat. Good news. I'm negative. Okay, let's go. We've been really lucky. We're out of the airport within 4 hours. Some people have taken like up to 19. So we're on the way to the hotel now. And Abdul, our driver's been very good, picked us up. Nice friendly trip to the hotel before we head off to the main press centre. We've been following Taekwondo's Safwan Khalil's journey to the Olympic Games here in Tokyo. In his final Road to Tokyo video diary, he takes us through his final hurdles before competition begins.
Hello beautiful people, here it is, the last video log of this journey. and what a journey it's been. This last week has been a really testing one. We've had to make sure we're up to date with all our COVID testing, our vaccination paperwork's up to date, our MyGov paperwork's up to date, making sure we print everything off, make sure we've got all the logistics. And even after doing all that, we're still having a huge hold up here at the airport with one of the paperworks my coach Ali's, my older brother's going through at the moment, which has been a little bit frustrating and a little bit testing because we're running a little bit late, we're running a little bit behind, but you just got to roll with the punches, right? We're really looking forward to getting into Tokyo. This is really different to our previous Olympics where we got in a little bit earlier and we're able to acclimatise, we're able to get used to the time and the weather and so on. We haven't been able to do that this time, but we will have a good 4 days before we have to do our weigh-in and then the big show. But you know, thank you guys so much for following my journey so far. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you guys know a little bit more about Taekwondo and what we do. Whew, I'm looking forward to the next couple of days. Thank you all so much. Much love.
The oldest Australian Olympian here in Tokyo is kayaker Phil Coles. He's 90. He competed here in Tokyo 1964. He had planned to return here to the scene of his most memorable moment with the 3 of his teammates, but they have all since passed away. But Phil is back and hoping to commemorate his teammates in a very special way. You had 3 Olympic Games, 60, 64, 68.
Yeah.
64 was your best result, and of course you must have been thinking about this with all of the talk building up to Tokyo now.
Tokyo was the last time I thought I'd see these guys that I paddled with, and I want to see where we were in those days. And in Tokyo was we could have won it, but once again we were too small in build.
Tell me about your 3 teammates, because you're all lifesavers first.
Yeah, these 3.
Yeah.
Barry, Dennis and Dennis were in Maroubra, and I'm North Bondi here. And we all were lifesavers. We all paddled skis in the surf, double skis, single skis. Dennis came over to North Bondi for a couple of seasons so that we could paddle together in the double ski. Barry and Dennis never split. They were in a partnership and skis, a partnership in double kayak. And they were a good double, really good. They won a lot of double ski races, a lot. And this is in our room in Tokyo, and it was a good time.
What are you going to do when you go back this time?
I'm going back with, of course I want to see the Olympics again, but mainly I'm going back because I want to go to the lake that we raced on. I've forgotten the name of it now. But if I'm allowed to, if I can get someone to drive me out to the lake that we raced on, they're not using it this time, they're using another lake. But I want to go to the lake that we raced on, and I've got these 4 medallions here. It'll represent each of them, each of the guys. And I want to throw it in, get out to the lake and throw them in the water to there. I hope they're watching.
As a memory.
Yeah, I hope they're watching.
It means a lot, doesn't it?
Oh, it does.
Yeah. And that's all for this edition of Road to Tokyo. Thank you for joining me. See you next time.